Hello to all my friends out there. Well, it's hot here today in San Diego, real hot, but I'm surviving. I'm drinking a nice cool beverage. Okay, now there's an attack on our chickens. First is beef, now it's chickens. So we're seeing a pattern here. It's like a continuous attack on meat, right? Okay, it was, this came from the Times, June 17th, 2020, so if you want to check it out. So now, what has happened is the United Kingdom, or Britain, has denounced, our chickens have been denounced by the politicians and reviled by food activists, okay? American-bred chlorinated chickens have become a symbol of all the UK fears about the looming trade deal. Okay, so we're in a trade war. And so now it's the chicken. Okay. Evidently, in the U.S., we rinsed the chickens with chlorine to kill the pathogens. I think of all the filthy, filthy animals, it would be chickens. Unless, you own your own chickens. It said, U.S. food standards, this is what the politicians in Britain are saying. Well, if the famine's coming good, you don't need our chickens. The U.S. food standards are subpar, tolerant of filth, shabby conditions in the quest for profits. So now it's chickens. A war usually, if you look in history, a war usually lasts for 2 years. So now there's an attack on our chickens. And this chlorinated, and they're calling them chlorinated chickens. They have chickens in Britain. Mostly it's about trade. It's getting bad. It's like Britain has removed from the trade block and gone to I think it's 10. I'm not sure. I got to look into that too. Okay, and on YouTube, there's been, of course, YouTube is totally unreliable. Remember when they said that President Biden was going to be dead before he could take office? So you have to take YouTube with a grain of salt. I'm glad he's not dead. That was terrible. But okay, but there's this thing on YouTube, because I watch a lot of YouTube at night. I do a lot of work in my house at night, and this recurring thing is they're lying to us, and things are worse than see my beautiful bracelet. This is the kind of stuff I sell, so I'll never starve. This is a cheap bracelet. I just love it. That's why I bought it. So things are worse than they're telling us, and they're lying to us. Yeah, I think that's true. Okay, so like worse like what? Okay, the economy is lousy. Probably for poor people. What has to be done is one has to say to themselves, somehow I'm gonna create a little business for myself. Years ago, I was a pretty new hairstylist, one of the first shops I ever worked in. And I got this lady for a client, nice lady. I had a knack for that. And at the time I met her, she was well off. Let me tell you, she was well off. And what happened was her son, when he was really young, would get old tires and sell them at the swap meet. And eventually worked into a really nice big tire business, and they were basically living in a mansion. So, it could be anything, he started off with old used tires. in the day, people didn't have as much money, and you had a flat tire, you had to have a tire. So, it's hard for me to really tell because, I'm retired. I've heard some stuff that didn't sound too good. Okay, food shortages. Okay, if and they're saying, all this meat is unsustainable. Well, if there's droughts and if there's, in our case, fires, and there's terrible storms, if there's no water, they're saying they would give the water to the plants before the animals. And hopefully the people before the plants, but the people have to have food, so it's, And another thing is they're saying, they're coming out with stuff and you don't know what you're eating. So I think that might be possible. Water. I'm just buying a water every now and then. But mainly what I'm doing is I'm trying to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So I was going to eat my freezer down, but I'm just going to go buy 2 large bags of chicken legs. They're $5 each, at least last time I checked at Walmart. I'm going to buy some chlorinated chicken for dinner. We swim in chlorinated pools. Okay, so we're looking for droughts. That one's not hard for me to believe here. Not at all. Storms, terrible storms. Okay, and then I've been hearing this thing, and this was super interesting to me. It was a while back, a couple months ago. And the thing is God was coming to the cities, and he was visiting the cities. And it was like a mist over the cities, and he was looking at each person in the city, and then the judgments are coming. So, I'm highly influenced by what I hear. So about a couple nights later, I had this dream. It was like a big cloud on a city, and I said, uh-oh, God is visiting. So then they're saying, okay, then, God's judgments are coming. So if you're not evil, you're probably going to be able to withstand the judgments. They're also saying you'll be able to protect yourself better because, you're going to know what to do, not entirely. I think one of the most important things to do is know how to evacuate wherever you are. Know how to evacuate. Where I live, if you had, from right where I live, if you had east, there are these mountains out there. And how do I know this? And the Bible instructs us, if you see destruction come, run for the hills. There's mountains. Because one time I was working in Buckman Springs and there was snow and wind and I had to go the back way. Oh my gosh, those mountains. So I know where I'm going. I'm running to the mountains. That's also the back way out of San Diego if we should have to evacuate. And the other thing is keeping your car up. I mean, all of us are guilty of this. You drive your car around, everything is fine, and then, everything starts breaking down. And keeping your car full of gas, too. And the other thing is like when you hear like these hints of things might happen, then try to stock up a little bit, like on toilet paper. Another thing I heard is during the power outages in Texas, they couldn't flush the toilets. So you don't think about that. And they were saying they were using their water to flush the toilets. I don't think that's a good idea because, if it was prolonged and there was... Anyways, what I would do is I would get a porta potty or I would make one. I would not use my water. And another thing, and so that was a pretty prolonged power outage. And one of the ladies on the channel said they used 30 gallons of water. So I said, okay, I am not going to stay up nights worrying about this. I'm just going to get 2 giant trash cans, you know, the plastic ones, and fill them with water. That way I have 60 gallons of water, you know, because, you know, we're in a drought situation here. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And and I will be back. So if there's like a war on meat, I want to start doing some vegetable meals. So, okay, if you notice the expensive burgers stuff, they're rice and peas. And I thought, why not make a vegetable stew? Because I have these potatoes, vegetables, like potatoes, carrots, peas, onions, vegetable stock is going to give you a tastier. And then I'm going to season it up with something. And I have a bunch of garden vegetables my son grew. And the garden vegetables can really stretch your budget. Try to find a farmer's market. And so I was thinking about my backyard, and I think, why in the hell am I going to go digging around? I was so miserable when 2 miles from here, I can go to the farmer's market every Wednesday and buy enough homegrown veggies, and voila. So, okay, you guys, see you later.